Parents of Reddit, what has been more challenging than you thought it would be here in raising your children? How draining they are. I kinda figured it would be like with my husband. If I'm with him I'm not having energy drained. But the kids just drain it so quick. I get tired from the constant talking, touching, screaming, arguing, questioning, and there is like no break from it unless I stick them in front of a screen, and then I feel super guilty. Honestly, the hardest thing I deal with is being jealous of my husband. We have 2 girls and they are the epitome of daddy's girls. I'm always the bad guy and they run to him for comfort. He's an awesome dad and amazing husband and he always has my back on decisions. But it doesn't change the fact that the bond he has with them is way different than with me. As soon as I stopped nursing my youngest, it was like she wanted nothing to do with me anymore. Deep down I know that it's typical for girls to be like that with their dads, and I am very happy and thankful that I have such a good man. But it's hard to not get the affection from them that he does. I'm a daddy's girl all the way. I've always had a really good relationship with my mom, but in high school we would fight every single day. It got better when I went to college, and now that I'm 23 she's my best friend. I've realized that her being the bad guy was just because she loved me and wanted me to make the right decisions. They'll understand one day. I don't want to be on them for every little thing, but seriously, turn off the lights, close the dang fridge door, flush the freaking toilet. How about you wipe your butt? You are in grade 4 and why do I need to remind you to wipe your butt when you poop every time? Seriously, who just dumps and runs? There are no drive-bys when it comes to defecation. You get straight as in school, but I've told you every dang day for the last 6 years to flush, wipe, wash, and you still can't do it. God, I love them so much, but how hard is it to flush the dang toilet and wipe your butt? Why is there pee all over this goddamn seat? Why is there pee on my freaking wallpaper? You know, those things. Seriously, who just dumps and runs? Haha, wow, that's the best way I've heard anyone put it. I have found that the hardest part is not reacting to the crap they throw at you while going through puberty. You are living with an erratic, hormonal, immature volcano of a person. At any point, they may erupt with some kind of angry outburst portraying you as the arch villain in their life. Staying calm and not taking the bait is very difficult, but an hour later, they will be sobbing and telling you they are a terrible person and that you are the best parent a child could have. Hormones are a powerful thing. Kids are 7, 9, 11. I'm going to need this advice in a few years. Keeping kids active and not in front of the TV all the time. My kid is the exact opposite. He gets super bored watching TV and always wants me to draw with him, play with him, go outside with him. I'm like, kid, watch TV for 5 freaking minutes so I can vacuum or something. New parent here. Challenge is finding a time to sleep. Someone is always touching me. I love my kids, I love my husband, but at a certain point you feel like mom, cuddlemate, food provider, book reader, boo-boo kisser, fight de-escalator, question answerer, butt wiper all throughout the day, and then wife, conversation continuer, dinner maker, cuddlemate again, physical partner, financial, like you lost who you are after being all those things. At a certain point it's just, everyone stop touching Emmy and asking Emmy for things. Yes to the ice cream, yes to the chocolate, yes to the Fruit Loops, but please, for the love of all that is holy, leave Emmy alone. My 1-year-old is currently crying because I am hiding in my blanket fort and not letting her in. I just want 5 minutes on Reddit, please. Also, being sick with kids. Just because you guys are sick doesn't mean the kids stop having the need for silly things like eating and drinking. Probably the worst is being sick with sick kids. Everybody is miserable. Everybody is crying. Nobody sleeps. Locking myself in the bathroom, little fingers under the door saying I can see Isari Yahoo. I had to hide in the tub to prevent myself from smacking said fingers. I get it. You end up giving up yourself even when you say you won't. Not giving in. It is so much easier to take a 14-year girl's phone than keeping it for 2 weeks. I've been trained for this. Years of denying my dog food that doesn't belong to him, regardless of those eyes. The fact that 2 children born of the same parents and raised the same basic way can be such different people. Physical education. I am incredibly open and it's difficult to embarrass me, so I thought I would do 1,000 times better than my parents, who found the topic so shameful that they just handed me a book and left it at that. As it turns out, my kids are the opposite of me and very like my parents. They do not want to discuss the subject with me at all. They were brought up by me and you'd think that all my openness would have rubbed off, but no. Other children's parents. Those crappy parents that have good kids but I never would let my kids hang out at their house. Yes, my almost 14-year-old is drawn to the kids with crummy home lives. She tells me it's not the kids' fault and of course I agree, but my job is to protect my kids. So allowing her to go to a home where the mother is a big partier with arrests and a constant flow of other partier type people in and out of the house simply won't happen. Not booting them in the butt when you really want to. Everything. Finding a way to interact with them as children while keeping in mind that my job is not to raise children, but functional adults. My oldest was born a grumpy old man. He's always been an old soul. He's got a bizarre understanding that doesn't fit in his brief 8 years of life. So when he actually acts like a child and I get mad at him, I have to step back and remind myself that he is, in fact, a kid and still needs patience and guidance and fun to successfully make it to actual adulthood. My second is very young. He's 5, but a very young 5. He's got this inherent sweetness that I never ever want to go away. So telling him no is hard. Making him do things he doesn't want to do is hard. I want to protect him and baby him and never let a tear touch his cheek or let the world tarnish his beautiful soul. But that's not helpful. Combine this sweet demeanor with some motor delays. I just want to do life for him, but I can't. He has to learn how to handle himself. He has to learn that sometimes crap is difficult or boring or yucky or whatever, and he's going to have to deal. My third is like a lion trapped in the body of a gerbil. She thinks she can do everything but she is 2 and cannot. So I have to find a way to encourage her confidence without letting her get too damaged while still getting through the day in a timely manner. I don't ever want to tell her that her effort isn't good enough or that she's not good enough. But I also don't have all damn day to wait for her to I can do it about her car seat when in reality all she's doing is repeatedly pinching her fingers. Tiny humans are exhausting. I used to get furious that my parents didn't treat my sister and me the same. As an adult, I have no idea how anyone could treat their kids equally. Not talking about playing favorites, but what works with one is completely wrong for another. Sharing everything. You made a sandwich even though the kids are already fed? Well, they want a bite, a big one. You buy a new keyboard for your computer? Well, they gotta test it out too even though they're not old enough to even use a computer. Want a Pepsi? They don't want their chocolate milk. They want your Pepsi. Playing a game or watching TV? It's their turn next and next is right now. Have your wife's attention cause you're telling a story? Mommy. Having kids can be wonderful, but no one warned me about the constant sharing. It's not bad, but sometimes it gets to me. Like, can't I eat my dang sandwich? Or play music without anyone screaming Alexa play Monoa? Haha, Alexa had best learn who the real boss is or she can shove right off. Not swearing. Seems simple, but dropping an F-bomb here and there in moments of irritation is natural for me, and now when my 5-year-olds get upset or irritated they have let loose a solid F-word. On the one hand I want them to stop, but on the other it makes me proud that they use it in context and not just arbitrarily. My parents swore all the time. I'm pretty sure that as soon as I had an inner dialogue I was swearing in it. As long as your children know that words have meaning and some words are only for grown-ups, I think it should be okay. I have younger kids, from 3 to 8, balancing letting them have what they want and keeping them under control, aka giving them an inch without giving away the mile. This comes in many forms. I like to give my kids the freedom to be kids. Some people call my kids free-range kids, but at the same time, I don't want my kids to be the ones running around the grocery store annoying everyone and getting in the way. Sometimes the only solution for situations like that is to be very strict, which I hate doing. I also love playing with my kids, but after an hour of piggyback rides I'm done and they never are. Sometimes I don't even want to start playing because I know I'll be shaking off kids that don't want the fun to end for the rest of the day. The other hard part is patience. You tell a kid to do something and sometimes it feels like it takes 30 seconds for them to process the instruction and start moving. Really, the time it takes from asking kids to do something to them doing it is ridiculous. I am constantly reminding myself and my husband that getting mad before they have even processed the instruction is just a giant frustration ball for everyone. My daughter just got dumped for the first time. I thought it wouldn't bother me so much, but I just wanna find this dude and give him a piece of my mind. Remember that the kid who dumped her is also just a kid. While a lot of kids get the adult talk, not many get a relationship talk and even fewer get a how do you end a romantic relationship without being a shat talk. Giving them responsibility when they become responsible. My kids are 17 and 18, and they have lives of their own. I'm a nervous wreck worrying about where they are and what they're doing. But goddammit, they're 17 and 18 and should be able to do whatever they want as long as they're not getting into trouble. They're good kids and I give them the freedom they deserve. But it drives me insane with worry. I just love them. My parents are like you. I'm 17 now and my parents still want to know where I am basically every hour when I'm away from home for anything other than school. Honestly, the 2-4 year stage has been difficult, but only because children are still learning rules and what yes and no mean. I find I'm needing a lot more patience than I thought I would. Not projecting my own insecurities and bad life experiences onto them. I had a very difficult childhood both family-wise and with friends, or the lack thereof, and it's so hard for me not to freak out at the idea of my children having similar experiences. I know it's normal for them to occasionally not fit in with another group of kids, although they do 99% of the time, but I'm always expecting that 1% of the time to have the same effect on them that years of rejection had on me. I have to step back and take a breath and remind myself it's a normal healthy part of growing up to experience occasional rejection and learn how to handle it now. They also don't have the family instability that I experienced growing up, but I'm always worried they have the same terrors of people just disappearing that I did. But no, they are just your average happy little kids who feel safe and secure and loved. I am so thankful but can't really comprehend it. Not telling them to frick off and heading to the pub. 1-year-old and a 8-year-old. The 1-year-old is a daredevil T and the 8-year-old knows everything. Username checks out. Not falling into or establishing bad habits. You cuddle them to fall asleep once, twice, and the next thing you know you're literally crying about putting a baby down to sleep with the delicacy and risk of someone handling live explosives. Raising them after divorce. We are even on decent terms but my ex just hides from everything. He tells our 12-year-old not to tell me things so I won't get mad. Like when he gets him to school late, lets him stay up too late, feeds him excessively junky foods, etc. My wife's ex tells their son not to listen to me or his teacher. I don't understand why, but it's starting to be annoying. Getting them to focus and or stop regressing. My 4-year-old is less productive now than when he was 3 or even 2. When he was 3 I could leave him to get dressed by himself and he did it and came to me to see what we are doing next. Now he just stares at the wall for 10 minutes in his underwear until I tell him to get dressed or stand there, and even then he takes 5 minutes to put on a sock. Or he will take 2 hours to eat his food because he gets distracted playing on his chair. I ask him if he is having fun and if he is happy playing on his chair instead of eating and he says no, he doesn't like it. Yet when I tell him he can leave after he eats his food, then he takes a bite and plays again. Or after 30 minutes has to go to the bathroom and hides and there or is full after 4 bites. He literally ate more food faster when he was 2 years old. He picks out what he wants to eat and if possible we cook it together, or he is at least involved in setting the table. It's exhausting because he doesn't mean to be so slow or absent-minded, but it's super annoying. Eventually he will learn the faster he eats the more time he can play at the park because we are waiting on him. I just need to say it 10,000 more times. He honestly sounds like me, with the getting dressed, and I'm a 16-year-old girl. Creating functional adults when you don't know any. Trying not to lose your crap when it comes to the other parent's parenting outline. Work together. Understand together. I separated from the mother of my child a couple months before he was 2. He's 3. 1/2 now. We have gotten into some prolific arguments and accusations have been thrown both ways since we both have different ideas of parenting. teenagers. They are so hard. Mostly I'm just trying to keep everyone alive, happy and as functional as possible. Decisions go from small things like cleaning up after yourself and saying please and thank you to huge and life impacting decisions like physical relations, drugs and college no college. The pressure is intense and exhausting. I've cried more than I ever did when my 3 teens were little, and they are pretty decent kids overall. The fact that you care so much and try so hard is a leg up on so many others. It may not be helpful, but I'd say that you seem like you're doing your best, and that alone gives your kids a great shot at being successful adults. Letting them make mistakes and then making them take responsibility, even after you've given advice. When my 16-year-old does or says something that I know will bite her in the butt later, I want to fix it. She has to own her own messes and resolve her own problems. I never, ever feel like I'm doing good enough. I feel guilty that I hang out in another room most of the time, despite my children being happy playing together. I feel guilty when I discipline them, and then I feel worse when I cave in. I feel guilty that I'm not one of those pack moms that spends 2 days baking for school fundraisers but not guilty enough to want to do it. I treat my kids with nothing but love and kindness, and I give them everything they want, and then when they act out, I feel like I've failed them. I just feel guilty all the time. Dealing with other parents. I don't think I'm a judgy person. Do your own thing with your kids, I jaff. And for the love of Christ, let me do my own thing too. I'm not a helicopter mom, but if you are, that's okay. We can still be friends. Moms are the most competitive, judgmental, bitchy people out there. I thought I'd be able to make cool mom friends with no problem. Not so much. I've found that gets better as the kids get older. Everyone is paranoid they are doing it wrong with a little kid. They don't know what they are doing and they are scared, so they lash out and tell you that you are doing it wrong instead. By the time the kids are a few years into school, people start to relax. Or maybe they are still judgmental AF and I've stopped caring. Aren't here. Not a mom yet. People touching your baby. People always joke, complain about it, but you don't realize it till you've been around it. My nephew now gets painful cold sores at 2 years old because somebody with a cold sore couldn't resist kissing him. Nobody thinks of it being a big deal. Kiss the cute baby. Hold the cute baby. Rock the cute baby. But now my nephew suffers because somebody couldn't keep their hands away from a baby that wasn't theirs. Also not a parent, but I saw this a lot working at a grocery store. I was ringing in a woman's order and her baby in the cart started crying. Another cashier came over and picked up the baby without asking to rock it, calm it down. The mother seemed pretty chill about it. I just know that if I was the mother I would be pee. The 2-4 age range. Those are the worst years. My son is now 5. What a relief. Oh good. It's normal for it to still be happening close to 4. I'm almost out. For me, it's probably not laughing while trying to parent. Sometimes my daughter does hilarious stuff that I know I should be in parent mode and teaching her what is and is not appropriate, but I can't help laughing. Oh well, we will learn that lesson next time. Managing their and my expectations when you find out they're terminally ill. I am sorry to hear you and your child are going through this. Sending you the warmest internet hug I can. Currently I am struggling with knowing how to discipline them and have their respect. I was raised with spankings, but I don't want to raise my kids the way I was. Anyone have any books to recommend? I have 2 boys ages 1 and 3. Getting your baby kid to sleep. You think they'll get tired enough and they'll just sleep. Nope. It's way more complicated than that, and if they're too tired it will be even harder for them to fall asleep. Looking at all these posts, this was me 1/2 years ago. Then unexpectedly and tragically my 17-year-old son passed away. His sister, a year younger, struggles despite 5 years of therapy and numerous therapists from substance abuse issues. This question actually made me think about the good times and all the wonderful memories. Thank you. I'm very sorry for your loss. The judgment of others about your parenting. No one likes to think that they are bad parents or are screwing up their kids. But it feels like no matter what you do, someone will find something wrong with it and attack you for it. The love you carry for them is so heavy, like emotionally draining. It's a terribly beautiful, amazing kind of burden. Someone said it's like your heart is out of your body, just walking around vulnerable in the big world. That's been the hardest part for me because before I was a relatively emotionally cold person. Now I worry constantly about this little human who I love more than I thought I was capable of. Keeping the relationship with your so alive. It's easy to focus on yourself and let the relationship die. I have an infant. The most challenging was assuming hubby and I had shared responsibilities, like taking turns waking up, feeding, changing. Instead I've gotten up every time and hubby sleeps in the guest room so he's not disturbed. The baby sleeps in room. It's hard getting very few hours of sleep for months when someone you live with gets 8 hours every night. No matter how good you are as a parent, you'll never be prepared for your kid to throw up out in public. I was a waitress once when this happened. I felt so bad for the parents. I told them to just pay quickly and take their daughter and go and that I would clean up the mess. They were really grateful. Now that I have kids of my own, I'm even more glad I cleaned it up for them. I didn't expect it to be so hard to really connect with them. I think they see me as the bad guy because I'm the one who usually has to be the enforcer. No, you can't have another sleepover. You actually need to sleep. They relate to my spouse much more than to me. I want to be their go-to guy when they need advice, but I'm afraid they'll end up looking to friends instead. I feel like society insists my kids need to be within arm's length at all times. I remember getting on my bike as a kid at 10 AM and coming home when it was dinner time. I feel like if I let my kids do that, CPS would be at my door. Weight control. Getting my daughter to give a single frick even as she is hitting 12 is just not happening. Actually, to be totally honest, it's been easier than I thought it would be. I thought as an infant she would be choking on everything, crying all the time, projectile puking and pooping through her diapers every day. As a baby I thought she would be falling out of her crib and smearing crap on everything. I thought she would bite and hurt my nipples when I breastfed her. As a toddler I had nightmares she would be screaming and running like a Tasmanian devil through the house, flinging food everywhere, biting cods at daycare, never get potty trained, wetting the bed well into kindergarten. None of this happened. She's never choked. She's puked a few times but I threw the blankets in the wash and that's that. She blew out of her diaper like 10 times and that's cause I bought the wrong diapers I already knew were horrible. She had colic but it was fairly easy to soothe. Just stand and walk around. She never fell out of her crib. She's never had a serious injury yet at almost 3. She never put her hand in her diaper. Had no interest in it. She bit me once. It hurt. I yelped. She never did it again. She sings and dances and runs around some but she's pretty calm and laid back. She's never had problems with other kids or biting. She's not shy. She potty trained overnight. She cost a fraction of what I expected because most of what we needed was given by relatives without us even asking. I bought her a few outfits and toys, diapers, wipes. I know it'll get expensive later but so far not what I expected. You have been visited by the Wisdom Pupper type. Study well, pupper, or you will fail your next text at school. Like and subscribe, you magnificent person.